Hi guys. I figured today, I don't know if anybody would really be super interested in this, but I'm always talking about the OFA certification that I'm waiting to get done on my girls after they're 1 year old. Now, I'm going to try to explain that to you a little bit, and the reason I'm doing it is because of the health I'm going for in the puppies that these girls will have. And if they don't test out to be as healthy as I want them to be, which so far it's amazing. All the DNA testing is done. But anyway, this test, this OFA certification, and a few other things is going to be what decides if we breed these dogs at the age of 2. So what is OFA certification? In 1996, John Olin founded the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, or the OFA, as a private not-for-profit foundation to evaluate and determine if a dog will have problem hips. I'm sure you've heard of canine hip dysplasia, and it's a genetic condition that mostly affects larger breeds, but it can be diagnosed in a few smaller breeds as well. Hip dysplasia typically develops because of an abnormally developed hip joint, but can also be caused by cartilage damage from a traumatic fracture. Cartilage damage or an abnormal hip over time will lose its thickness and elasticity of the existing cartilage. This will eventually result in pain with any joint movement. And as you can see on the video that I took this evening of the girls, they're not having any problems moving. Roxy's, almost 4 years old. That's her. She's not too worried about wrestling, but she will do it. So anyway, the girls are wrestling, and those are the two that'll be tested. Anyway, cartilage damage or abnormal hip joint over time will lose its thickness and elasticity of the existing cartilage, and it'll eventually result in pain with any joint movement. I have had dogs with that, specifically my white English bulldogs. When they got really old, they got hip problems, and we never knew anything about testing dogs then. Tank was on his third home when I got him, and Alaska, we had got her from 6 weeks old, and Ton was her puppy, so we had him his whole life too. But some dogs just do that, just have that, and I never knew anything about OFA or any of that testing then. Anyway, OFA maintains a database for hip dysplasia, and it's classified into 7 categories. It can be anywhere from excellent all the way down to severe. Now, excellent is a superior conformation. There's a deep-seated ball or a femoral head that fits tightly into a well-formed socket. Acetabulum, it looks like it says, with minimal joint space. Good is slightly less than superior, but a well-formed congruent hip joint is visualized. The ball fits well into the socket and good coverage is present. Fair, minor irregularities. The hip joint is wider than a good hip. The ball slips slightly out of the socket. The socket may also appear slightly shallow. None of this stuff means anything to me, but it should to the doctors. Borderline, not clear. Usually more incongruency present than what occurs in a fair, but there are no arthritic changes present that definitively diagnose the hip joint being dysplastic. Mild is a significant subluxation present where the ball is partially out of socket, causing an increased joint space. The socket is usually shallow, only partially covering the ball. Moderate, the ball is barely seated into a shallow socket. There is secondary arthritic bone changes, usually along the femoral neck and head. Acetabular rim changes, osteophytes, or bone spurs. I have bone spurs, painful. And various degrees of trabecular bone pattern changes or sclerosis. Severe is marked evidence that hip dysplasia exists. The ball is partly or completely out of shallow socket. Significant arthritic bone changes along with femoral neck and head and acetabular rim changes. The hip grades of excellent, good, and fair are within normal limits and are given OFA certification numbers. This information is accepted by AKC, which I will not be a part of because doodles are crossbreeds. on dogs with permanent identification and is in the public domain. Dogs showing signs of hip dysplasia are often treated with anti-inflammatory pain relievers, while some require surgical correction. OFA hip certification is conducted on dogs 2 years of age or older, but preliminary evaluations are available for dogs over 4 months old, and that's why I'm waiting until they're 2 to do it. You can do it, before, but there's other things I need to have done, so I'm going to do that at the same time. So we'll get a number. It'll be from something to something. The grades are excellent, good, fair, and within normal limits. And this information came off of puppyspot.com when I did an OFA certification search. So that anybody that might be interested in a puppy would kind of further understand what some of these tests are that I want to have done. Now, the DNA test for diseases is over with, like I said, and I hope I've got enough time. There's other tests I'll tell you about later that I'm going to have done, but I did want to say for those that are just coming in, I got these puppies in December of 2021, I think it was, yeah, and I wanted one. My husband ended up getting 2 because we couldn't decide how many we wanted. And I intended to start to raise golden doodles because I've got one named Roxy, and she's down there somewhere, not playing as much as them because she's older. But she'll not have puppies. But these 2 puppies I bought for house dogs because my English bulldogs had begun to pass away from old age and cancer. And I've always got to have dogs. But I decided to keep these intact, and actually, if their health was good enough, and I mean super good enough, that I would raise golden doodle puppies from these puppies. And all of the previous videos, you can look through them and see that they are super healthy. I'm going to have a clear male to breed with both girls, so that the puppies will be clear with ichthyosis. That's not anything but dander. They don't show any signs of it at all, but they do carry the gene. And that is how I'm going to breed the gene out of them. But other than that, they are great on their DNA testing. They're definitely golden doodle, poodle crosses. And I had them AKC registered because of all the testing I had done on them, even though the people that owned the mom and dad had never had theirs registered. There's Paris been wallering around in that grass and got that all over her hair. But it's okay. So maybe later on I can give you a little bit more information about the PennHIP testing and things like that. There's cardiac. I forget right now what all they do test for. But there's cardiac, there's hips, something else. I don't know. I can't remember. But when I'm through with all of these tests, and I'll know whether or not these dogs are healthy enough to breed. And so far, so good. So now they're almost 9 months old, and I will, in 3 months, I've already talked to a vet, their vet, satellite office that does this. Every vet's office doesn't do the OFA certification x-rays and stuff, but they do. Your dog has to be put like surgically put under, to have this done so they lay still and everything. But that'll be happening in around October to November. I've already called them about it. And I tell you, it's starting to get it real. Once they're a year old, all this is going to go fast. There's things I need to buy. I tried to get on there today and start building a website, and my scanner would not connect with my laptop. So I've got to get that. I don't know what that is. Maybe time for a new printer. But I've got all kinds of things I'm trying to get done, and I do work too. So anyway, this evening I let the dogs out to play and just get real tired before they went to bed. They've played a lot today because I'd say it's probably not even been but about 80 degrees today and really cloudy. So they've had a lot of time to run, and I've been going in and outside with them, watching them run. Wish I could find that list that shows everything that they recommend. I just had it pulled up a while ago. And I don't want to run out of puppy footage for you to watch while I'm doing all of this. Hey, maybe I found it. Anyway, there's an online form. One of them's OFA application for congenital cardiac. They test that. They test the hips. I'm not sure about what all else is on there. I had that all pulled up a while ago. But just know, anybody that's already contacted me and said they're willing to wait for a puppy, I hope you'll keep watching the videos, because you're going to see, there's Paris jumping on my back. I turned my pajamas. Anyway, you're going to see from watching my videos how healthy these dogs are going to be. As much as I can find out about them, they're going to be that healthy. Now, they're microchipped, and they're CKC registered with all their DNA testing numbers on their CKC registration papers. I know some people have said, CKC's not real stringent, but they have been in my situation, because I've got all the paperwork to go with it. I've got the puppy's parents, the people I bought the dog from, both the dogs from. Everything has been double and triple checked out, and what do you call that? Let's see. Notarized. It was even notarized and sent in. And I had to have lots of stuff to prove these dogs were purebred. Even and including DNA testing. But it was so much fun all the way up till now. And I just keep waiting every day for the time to get them tested through the OFA for hip dysplasia and all the other testing. Once that's done, I will have no problem getting Ghana to let me register them with them, because that's what they require. But hopefully I'll have my website built by then, because if you don't have a website, you're not going to be on Ghana. They require it. And I'm not on Facebook. I don't have any desire to be on Facebook, but I will have a website, and I have this channel for people to communicate with me on. And you feel free to do that, to comment. Now, like I said before on the old introduction video, I welcome all the comments. I love them when people tell me how pretty my dogs are. It just makes me feel so good for them. But anyone that's going to be rude or like really super rude, I don't care if you have a comment that's not necessarily, oh, your dogs are beautiful, but this rude stuff is not going to happen. That's why the software filters out every comment until I can see it. And then I will block and ban the person where they can't search out our channel anymore if they're going to be really awful. Because I've only ever had that to happen one time. But I want to have a nice, friendly channel where nobody's going to be attacked because they like a certain kind of dog or don't like a certain kind of dog or anything like that. That's not what I'm about. I've just got these dogs on here for people to watch them grow up, and I've had them on here for a long time since I got them, and people can watch them grow up and see what all I have done with their health, and what all how often they go to the groomer, and all the vet visits, and all the things that goes with raising healthy puppies. And that has all happened up to now. Now, Roxy's got an appointment 18th of August, but she was my first doodle, and we never intended to even breed doodles until I got her. And I wouldn't have bred her anyway. She was spayed at 6 months old, I think. I've always had my dog spayed, but I'm telling you, these doodles are great pets, in my opinion. If you have a big yard, or if you've got the will to get out and walk them and let them burn their energy off like what I do, you're going to love them. I mean, they're just They're smart, they're loving, they're clingy. I need clingy. I like a clingy dog. Now, Paris is loving, but not super loving. Bougie, like, hangs back a little bit, but she is the sweetest natured dog I've ever seen. All of them are very sweet, but Bougie's really, really meek and sweet. She really is. So that's the end of my video, guys. It snuck up on me, and I've ran out of footage. So until the next video, I hope you enjoyed and got something out of this one. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.